This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
And we've got Max Arraj, still not identified in the promo or in the intro, along for the ride tonight. The crew back together again for a Monday night edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, Max Arraj. Carlo Perusa is going to stop by a little bit later on and talk a little more about the All-American football camp and look ahead to the Buford Brawl or the Fight Nights, whatever it's called. I think it's called the Buford Brawl over at Foundry coming up this weekend. So we'll talk with him a little later. We're also going to talk here in just a bit with J.W. Wilkerson. Finally, been a busy man ever since that state championship win, but we finally tracked him down. We got him cornered for tonight, so he'll be on here in a few minutes. But how you boys doing? How you holding up over there? Have a good weekend?
Yeah, well, a lot of rain this weekend. Was able to get outside and play some pickleball. But other than that, it was one of those stay-in weekends, or baseball got rained out for you. So
it was great.
Nice.
I needed it. I needed it bad.
You always could use a weekend away from playing ball. Just recharge.
That was going to be our fourth in a row, which wasn't really our intention when we set out to make the schedule, but it just kind of tournaments we were able to get into at places we wanted to go. It's just kind of the way it worked out, but it was getting to be a grind. So getting the weekend off was not a bad thing. I think everybody was grateful, especially that they just went ahead and canceled it based on the forecast instead of letting everybody hide under the bleachers for several hours a day and trying to get it in the mud. That's never any fun. So it was a nice weekend for me, relaxing, not relaxing, I guess, but it wasn't away, but getting caught up on all those things that you fall behind on the honey-do list during the spring. I saw baseball coaches posting about doing their yard work and stuff, and I feel the same. So we feel your pain, coaches. I'm in the same boat. I'm trying to get caught up on all the things around the house that haven't been getting done. But we had some Lowco athletes who stayed busy this weekend because we had track and field wrapping up. Friday night, we talked about it a little bit, but didn't have all the results in yet. Buford ended up finishing 7th in the girls' standings and 14th in the boys at the 3A meet. Anaya Housel won the high jump and was 5th in the 100 hurdles. Izelt Antia 2nd in the 800 and 8th in the 1600. And Eric Smart on the boys' side winning the 400 hurdles and 4th in the pole vault. And Amari Patterson 5th in the 200, 7th in the 100. So good showings. Not quite to the standard that they're kind of accustomed to as far as the team finish, but some outstanding individual showings. And then on Saturday, 2A meet, Hampton boys finished 5th, girls finished 6th. Kayvon Chisholm won the shot put. Hezekiah Abrams was 2nd in the triple, and he had another one, 7th in the long jump. 7th in the long jump. Big point scores there. And on the girls' side, it was Tyshana Leverett, 3rd in the triple jump, and Kaya McQuire picking up 5th in the discus and 6th in the shot. Were their big finishers. And then the 4A meet, no huge numbers as far as the teams go. May River boys were 10th. Hilton Head right behind them in 11th. Hilton Head girls led the way in 17th. But again, some great individual performances. Noah Wasserman from May River, 2nd in the 3200, 5th in the 1600. Zach Sellers from Hilton Head, 2nd in the 400. Then Erlon Baker had a couple of podium finishes. He was 7th in the 800 and 4th in the 1600. And Jaquez Haynes from Colleton County, 7th in the 100 and 4th in the 200. So those are some of the top scorers from the weekend in track and field.
Yeah, Hampton County putting up some good performances. Kayvon Chisholm, absolute beast. Bringing a title home to Hampton to cap off an incredible academic athletic year. For that guy, winning the shot put with a mark of 15.66 meters and barely eking out the limb over Jaden Fuller of Silver Bluffs. So Kayvon Chisholm, great guy, and love to see him finish off the year with a state title, call himself a state champion. Really well deserved from him, and overall some strong finishes across the board from that Hampton County group, especially some of the relays placing really well. Getting to those, the Hurricanes in third place On the boys 4x400, including Zion Dobson, helping lead the way for that one. And then the girls as well taking third in the 4x400. A couple of bronze medals in the relays, and once again, Kayvon Chisholm, great to see him, bring home that championship, individual title, and both Hampton County teams showing off well. And then, you realize that you're going up against a great collegiate to kind of almost kind of like swept the board, it seemed like, with everything.
Yeah, the thing that was surprising was that several lower state teams finished ahead of them at state, which was a little shocking because they beat them all at lower state.
Fourth in the men's, it was Fairfield Central who ran away with it.
Yeah,
83 points. Next closest was Greer with 58. The girls, great collegiate, just barely beat out Bishop England. So that was competitive. Fairfield third, and then Hampton County sixth girls, and then fifth in the boys. So strong finishes for the Hampton County Hurricanes, and some excellent performances from a couple of, good to see a Fairfield Central on the guys team get it done. The guys side, pretty good for them. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yep.
So that is the track and field stuff from the weekend. We will be having, we also, on Thursday had Whale Branch in the 1A meet, the girls winning their third straight state title and the boys finishing runner up. We've already, we're efforting. We've got the 4x100 relay team, girls relay team lined up to come on. And that includes Talasia Bartley, 4-time state champ in the hurdles. All 4 years. So pretty impressive, as well as Destiny Pryor and Lorimer Pryor. So it'll be a good bunch, and we'll see if we can get them out on Wednesday. And people ask us, like, what are you guys going to do now that high school sports are over? Well, the match play at Congaree starts today, so we roll right into it, and it's a significant number of local guys. You got Luke Block, Sage Bradshaw, Jack Cresor, Conrad Gall, Tag Graziano, Cade Kriskunas, Michael Gavin, Gabe Schmitz, and Simon McAllister, all among the 32-player field. And Cresor got the number 1 seed after he shot even par today, 72, to tie for the low score. I'm not sure how they broke ties for seeding, but he was top seed. So he'll be first off tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. against Mason Slaughter from Florence. Luke Block's number 8 seed, and he'll take on Conrad Gall. So Bluffton on Bluffton battle there. Michael Gavin, number 20, facing number 13, Will Ruth from Moore. Number 15, Jeep Patrick against, I didn't even put him on my list initially, Jeep Patrick, but he's in there too, against number 18, Harris Holstein from Orangeburg. Simon McAllister's number 23 takes on number 10, O.T. Mitchell from Fort Mill. I met O.T. out there last year. Number 30, Gabe Schmitz takes on number 3, Harrison James from Chapin. And then on the girls' side, we got a good contingent as well. Lexi Milbrandt's number 16 seed. She gets top seeded Caroline Hawkins from Columbia. Claire Green's number 4. She gets number 13, Taryn Smoke from Lexington. Robin Zatrora, another Shark, is number 12 and gets number 5, Olivia Pellerin, and she's from Greenville. And Bridget Wilkie, the number 3 seed, takes on Carson Heron from Graniteville in the first round. So definitely trying to get out to Congaree a little bit this week and see some of the golf, some of the best around the state, and many of them from the Lowco. Yeah. So pretty cool.
That sounds like a lot of fun, especially that all Bluffton matchup on the guys' side between Block and Conrad Gall. That's always fun. They know each other, so the competitive juices certainly flowing with those two. But good to see Jack Cresor lock up the 1 seed. Oh man, who really cares? It's just a snapshot of a couple of rounds. So it's all about finding
one round in this case.
Yeah.
It's exciting because you got so many players from so many different schools here in the Lowcountry, competing against other players from around the state. So it's an exciting tournament, and I'm excited to see how everything ends up going throughout the week.
Match play is kind of fun to watch. It's
it is
more mind games at play. You're going up against one other guy, so it's all about how you react to what the other guy does in a sense. So it's a lot. You can play it different than you do with a normal stroke play.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of more interesting from a spectator standpoint because it's kind of easier to know what's going on in a way, and it speeds it up because if somebody wins the hole, we move on, so I like that. I love the pressure that it puts on each shot. I love the weight that it puts on every shot. So no, I like covering match play. I like it as a spectator, and obviously any reason to get out to Congaree is a good reason to get out to Congaree. So we'll have to see if we can make it out there. Hopefully some of our kids advance tomorrow and make it to the semifinals and finals on Wednesday and Thursday, because that'd be great to be able to get out there and see that. So that's what's happening in the Loco sports world. Not a ton, but we definitely got a couple fun things going on. We've got some other baseball news that we'll get into here in a minute when we talk with JW, because a good bit of it relates to Hilton Christian Academy. But I also wanted to mention, guys, that USCB men's basketball just released 2 more commitments. I've got 5 now that they've announced. Dominic Eason, a 6'5" guard from Toombs County, Georgia. Patrick Irel, I got to learn how to pronounce that name. 6'10" center coming from USC Upstate, originally committed to USC. Caden Douglas, 6'3" forward out of high school in Florida. And then the 2 today, Christian Atwall, 6'6" wing from Florida, coming from Air Force Prep. Had been committed to Air Force Academy, decommitted, had some good looks, some D1 looks, and ends up at USCB. Atwall, you may recognize the name, Arjun Atwall, the PGA Tour player, is his father. So very interesting. And then the other one, Lucas Platana, 6'4" guard out of Lithuania, but played at Woodville Tompkins in Savannah, and is coming from Mercer. So D1, D1 guy coming in. So some serious talent adding to the roster for Ron Fudala. Pretty excited about that.
Doing some work on the recruiting trail. And, I think getting that solid first year, and, it would have been nice to see Marcus Overstreet stick around. But, we understand that when guys perform well, they have the opportunity to find other opportunities. And, I think it worked out well for him. I wish we could have kept him, but I'll tell you what, I am really excited to see.
I think it's funny that they're getting one back from Mercer, player to be named later.
We'll just
you took one of ours, we'll take one of yours. It happened with South Carolina and Mizzou, too. South Carolina snagged a guy from Mizzou. Mizzou snagged the 7-footer back from South Carolina. Everybody's happy.
Patrick Uriel.
Spouse swap situation.
Yeah. You don't see that very often at college basketball.
You're going to now, apparently.
Yeah.
The new thing. It's like, hold up. I know where there's a roster spot open. They just recruited my replacement. Maybe I should go where he was.
A lot to like about this group. Ariel, 6'10". You can't teach that kind of height. He's going to be impactful coming over from USC Upstate. So some South Carolina ties, staying in the system, I guess you could call it, going from Upstate to Beaufort, South Carolina, Beaufort. And then you mentioned Lucas Platuna. That's very interesting, getting that transfer in there with some experience at the college game. Mercer, a smaller-ish mid-major kind of school, but more so like a lower-tier Division I program. So I think with his abilities at guard that he's shown throughout his early stages of his college career, he seems to be another impactful piece in the puzzle that is this USCB team. And Ron Fudala does a good job of mixing and matching the guys that he's had, kind of deploying them in different spots. And it's going to be fun to see how he is able to reap as much talent as possible from these guys, because it seems like you're going to get a lot of different abilities and skill sets. I'll have to, look into more and see kind of how these players will fit in terms of their shooting and overall play at their positions, and just quickness and their passing ability and all those other intangibles. But just at first glance, this looks to be a solid group of young men who's really going to take what we saw last year and bring it to another level alongside the guys returning. So you want to have the mix of players who understand the system, who were in there last year, and then those extra pieces that kind of help push you forward in this very difficult Peach Belt Conference. But I'm already hyped for getting to see, hopefully once you get into preseason workouts and then kind of see how everyone fits in. So fun times to be had.
Won't be that much
USC.
longer now, really. I mean, it's like 6 months, and they'll be playing
Right.
ball. Like,
Yeah, it's end of May, and November will be here before you know.
Feels like the season just ended, and now it's already coming back around again. But now looking forward to it. Well, hey, let's not keep our guest waiting too much longer. Let's just shout out some sponsors. The MVP sponsors of LowcoSports are our MVPs, and it starts with my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's with Keller Williams of the Lowcountry, and she'd love to help you find your place in the Lowco, or maybe help you upgrade to a bigger, better place. It's a great time to put your house on the market. Inventory is low, but the desire to be here never wanes. Everybody wants to be in the Lowco. It's a great time to get into the real estate market with Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports, and the queen bee of the Lowco Hive. And we've also got homegrown home inspections. They'll check over that home and make sure that it is good to go from top to bottom. Or if you're building a new home, you want Jan Lucas and his team to do the phased inspection where they check on it every step of the way to make sure it's being built right. At Homegrown Home Inspections, our official home inspector. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry is our official hospice provider and the only not-for-profit hospice care in southern Beaufort County. Great spot. They had a great event this weekend. The rain really didn't mess them up too bad. It kind of cleared out. Looked like they had a great time. I wasn't able to get out there. I planned to be at baseball, so did not plan on being there. But
there was
looked like it was a great time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the rain didn't start until like mid-afternoon, and it didn't really go throughout the whole day. So hopefully they.
I think they were. I think they had a good time, which is important. They raised a lot of money for Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, where it's not about dying, it's about living. And finally, Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our official real estate closing attorney of LowcoSports, and the presenting sponsor of the Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage here on LowcoSports. So we'll make them the presenter of our guest tonight, J.W. Wilkerson, the head coach, head coach no more of the baseball program at Hilton Head Christian Academy. But I guess we'll start there. First of all, just congratulations, man, on a job well done, a dream achieved. And, I'm sure you've had a little bit of time now to sort of reflect and let it set in. So I want to hear that. But I also want to know, I got to know, when did you decide this was it for you? Because I kind of had the impression you were going to do both roles. And then I started hearing maybe you weren't. And then I also want to know, when did you decide to tell them? And was that a strategic move? So I know there's a lot in there, but unpack it
absolutely, for us. Absolutely. So, as my time at Christian Academy, Kenny was here, then he was gone, then Jason, and then he took a job up in Maine. So how this kind of all came about was really quick. And, I've just been talking a lot with Doug and our board, Doug, which is our head of school. And our school is growing. Our school is in a spot where we're going up to 4A next year. We started lacrosse. We started track again. And oh, by the way, it looks like I'm starting softball next year.
That's what we heard.
So there's just a lot that's going on at our school, and I want to give everybody at our school the attention that I was able to give the baseball team, and kind of bring the recipe that we brought within the baseball program. Taking over a team that was pretty depleted, a team that was not very highly valued within the community, and the facilities were bottom tier, and in 3 years we were able to turn that around. And I want to give that to all of our coaches. We got young coaches at Christian Academy, and then we got some like Ron Peduzzi, where learning things from Ron and bringing those into my own culture, and continuing to do the great things that we've been able to do for the entire time Hilton Head Christian Academy has been around. We have winners. We win. And it's awesome to be able to call myself the athletic director, and not just a baseball coach, but the athletic director of all our sports and all of our programs. How how I decided to tell the team, it was a little different. Going into the year, I probably figured this out. I'd probably say it was right before our AC Florida trip, where I'd finally made the decision that this was the best for our school. Selfishly, did I want to sit there and coach and be an athletic director? Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But the best thing for our school and for our community and for our athletes and for our coaches is for me to step away and just be an athletic director. And some people call me crazy, but it actually will give me more time with my family also, just being an AD, which is huge. So fast forward, we end the season on a high note. We take one from AC Flora. We go up to Augusta Christian. We take one from them, who they ended up winning the 4A state championship for Skeeza. So everything was high and high. First playoff game, we knock out Florence Christian. And then, Williamsburg catches us sleeping. And, of course, it was on a Friday night, so I had which is the worst as a coach. You get the whole weekend to sit there and think about it.
Yeah.
And the what ifs.
Sit with your feelings.
Oh, man. My wife hates Friday games. Hates Friday games. So, it kind of turned into, okay, well, the timetable of how I was going to tell them shifted. And I'll be honest, and you called it out. Was it a plea for like, hey guys, this is the last rodeo. Like, let's go all in.
Don't let me go out like this.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that, but it was also a lot of like, I didn't want to tell the guys after a loss, because last year was really difficult. We were supposed to achieve all these things, and everybody threw all these things on the table for us, and we were trying to figure out how to play baseball still in year two. Yeah. We were trying to figure out a lot of things, how to be a team, how to lead, how to love on each other, all these things outside of just baseball. And this year, we really figured those things out. So I was like, man, I don't want to tell them after a loss. I don't want them to think like, oh, we lost and now coach is out. So I've never been more excited about a rain delay in my life than the Tuesday rain delay. I mean, we're waiting
just
it
flat,
out,
right?
Flat, not playing well. And I brought my coaches in the dugout as it is just monsooning, and I'm like, guys, this is it. Like, this is the moment.
It's that 2016 Chicago Cubs moment, wasn't it?
Listen,
Jason Hayward.
It was everything. It was all of that and more. I brought the team in, and I told them straight up. I was like, listen, this is not a rally around Coach JW. I'm not leaving. I'm not going to take a different baseball job. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm still a part of your lives, but I'm
not dying.
I'm not dying. No, I'm not dying.
Not that serious, but.
And here's the good thing, right? We have 10 seniors. So they weren't playing next year for me anyways. A couple of the younger guys, you could tell, were like, what the heck is going, like, this is a real kind of weird timetable. And it was, but it also relieved me. I was coaching with a little tension. And you could tell our kids were just like, you know what, after that time, it was kind of like, okay, like, we're not going out like this. So fast forward, it ended up being great. And here's the greatest part. I asked them to keep it a secret so I could tell their parents myself, and they did. That was for high school boys, I was like, wow, this is
that's some serious respect you've earned there.
It was big time. And it seems small, but it really was. To me, it was a big deal because, a lot of the dads and even the moms within the program, the families, I always tell people it's our program. It's not my program. It's, my assistant coaches, they get to coach. I don't dictate what they do. And it's been an us thing. And so I got to have those conversations off to the side, and which was huge and great for, my experience. I've never done this before. So it was good for learning and how to help the next coach in this situation who has to, tell team, do you go mid-season? Do you wait till the playoffs? Do you wait after season? Might not always work out with a state
Seemed like the right time from here.
Listen, you never know. And, fast forward, we go back into the rain out game, and Florence Christian jumps all over Cody, which I didn't think was going to happen. We saved Zane for the Williamsburg game, and then we come out swinging. We got punched in the mouth, and we just never looked back. I think we outscored Williamsburg 25, 26 to 1 to 2, something like that. And then you go into the PD game. I know none of y'all were there, but crazy, awesome environment, like wild. Why? I mean, train horns.
I've been there for football, so I can imagine.
Oh, it is just, and
I've seen them travel. They travel.
It's been like that since I played for Christian Academy. I remember we went up for semifinal rounds, and
how do you guys? Obviously, you talk about how the offense was able to, get the starter out of the game at 111 or however many he threw, and found a way to get the reliever in there. But just walk us through how you won that game one in a really tough environment, and despite a key injury midway through as well, found a way to rally in the seventh to get it done. So just describe the emotions, the environment of getting that pivotal game one win.
Yeah. So, going into the game, we knew we were facing a stud. The lefty they threw, he is a legit high school baseball arm. And throws the off speed well. I've never seen our kids all year get buckled until that night, and we got buckled. But that's where the maturity in our team from last year to this year kind of took over. Is we knew our goal was, even if you strike out, if you pop out, if you ground out, see 4 pitches, 5 pitches, 6 pitches, like just be a tough out. Who cares if you get out? I don't care. But we knew if we got to their bullpen, we would be in a good position. And that's really how we went about it. We just, every inning, our kids are like, boom, he's at 30, boom, he's at 51. All right, he's at 64. Like, keep going. So our kids really just never took their foot off the pedal in that sense. We weren't hitting it all over the park. We were striking out a ton, but it was striking out after 7, 8, 9 pitches. I think Slade struck out with like an 11 or 12 at bat, and that's when it like flipped. It was like, okay, kids at 94. We just have to get to the next inning. Next inning was the 6th. And I didn't tell our guys, hey, take. I didn't say anything like that, but we really honed on, you're looking for one spot you can take. That's totally fine, but if you can't miss. If you hit a hard out, great.
Don't miss a fastball in the zone, brother.
No. So, I mean, they had the train horns going, and they have, the cows out in the back. It felt like a little East Texas Friday night, vibe. But it was really cool to see our kids just, never wave. They stayed true to who we were. And realistically, we threw a no-hitter. The one hit was a ground ball where our pitcher and first baseman had some miscommunication.
Really?
And wow. It's a hit. But Steele thought James was coming. James thought Steele was taking
it. It's a hit, but you got the out. You just didn't get it.
It was like, man. So, you're kind of looking at the whole picture, and you're like, okay, James and Dylan are combined no-hitter. We're in a good spot. I like where we're at. Then they bring a reliever in, and our kids were just chomping at the bit. Those poor guys they put in. They pegged a couple. They walked. Keene hit one off the shortstop's glove as they were playing up, which really turned the tide. We were down 1. We had a runner on second and third, and they played up. With you're up 1-0, you play back, you probably get the out at first. It's kind of
double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Absolutely. And once that ball went through, it was Dylan came out, lights out. It was like football quarterback takeover mode, which PD saw saw a couple times in football season, and our boys, you know, just rallied behind that. It was, and then of course going to Buc-ee's afterwards, we knew we were winning it too. I mean, it was, it was done. It was done.
So what'd you get at Buc-ee's?
Oh man,
did you load up like $100 worth? How much you spend?
No, my wife would kill me. You know, definitely I go brisket. The brisket is legit.
Yeah, man. Can't beat it.
Real legit.
I love the little apple pies. I get me an apple pie. You know, and then I had to chug everything down.
A bag of beaver nuggets for the road, or
no? The kids got
you don't get into the beaver nuggets,
beaver tail and fudge, and I mean, we were sharing. We were, you know, I don't even think the kids really ate dinner. they were just on slushies and gummy bears and
yeah, man, that's what a road trip is.
Yeah, Mad Max in there. Get in here. I want to.
It was a good time. It was a good time. So,
Mad Max, get in there. Ask away.
You know, we've talked all season about, you know, not only y'all's offense was ridiculous, but I think what kept y'all, you know, so dominant was your pitching. I mean, I have not in years. It's been years since I've seen a team in this area with a pitching staff as dominant as y'all's was. I mean, we said the other night, what was it, a 1.59 ERA through the season? I mean, as a staff, that's one of the rarest things you can see in high school baseball, because we all know there's always a game where you're going to be playing a team better than you and you're going to struggle against. And, you know, that will bring your ERA up. But other than that, I mean, you guys had one tough game against, what was it, Stanyard this season. And, you know, other than that, I mean, you guys pretty much, you know, closed the book on all the other teams, you know, apart from PD, because we all knew that was going to be a tough challenge no matter what. You know, I wonder, like, how did you develop those players throughout the years to make that pitching staff what it was this season?
I'm going to tell you this right now. I did not do anything. I do not mess with pitching. I'll yell at pitchers, but I don't.
That's why he promoted his pitching coach.
Yeah, listen, this guy coming in, I'm telling y'all right now, he is the real deal. He is what I witnessed with pitchers, and you take what 1.59 or whatever it was, and that's with Hayden having to go against James Allen, you know, and James Allen hit him well. You take that game off of Hayden, he's below a 1-2, 1-1. You know, it shot him up, and realistically, we had a chance to win that game. We booted a double play ball, and you know, things happen. But you know, it's just the thing that my assistants were able to do this year, and that's where we're realistically able to change the culture of HHCA baseball. I did not micromanage. Coach Eddie, he was with my catcher and hitters. I do not mess with him. If he says, hey, this is what we're doing today, that's what we're doing today. Coach Nick, you know, he's with my infielders. If he says, hey, I want to see this guy at third, I want to see this guy at second, hey, we're plugging this guy in at first, do it. Hey, what did we struggle with last game? Do it. You know, our outfield, this is crazy, I'm even saying this, kind of took care of itself. When you have three guys like we had, you know, we'll go over some rep stuff, but
that's how outfielders are, man. Outfielders just go about their business.
They're kind of like college POs. They hit a ton. They get some pop-ups, and then they run bases, and they're like, hey, coach, this is a great time.
And the other thing I really figured and thought about this team through that run is just the seniors lit. And you have a group of 10 seniors who really took it upon themselves at multiple points throughout that playoff run that we're not going to let this thing end. We're going to keep playing until the final series and find a way to win. And just talk about that. You've been here a couple of years, 3 seasons, and you know, you've got to see these seniors grow. So just talk about them and that group and how they push you over the top this year to win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, these guys they're the ones who built the program. You know, a couple kids transferred in. You get Cody over this year. He transfers in, which was a huge plus. But it's more than just transferring in for baseball. These kids really bonded together with a love for a game, but also a love for each other. And that was the difference, last year and this year. We played a game this year where all 10 seniors started. Senior night going against college and prep. I didn't play any of the young bucks who our young guys are very good. But all 10 kids, I didn't sub. And it was like a, I don't know, 2-2 game in like the fourth or something. And you could see them kind of like, okay, I got Alex Epstein at shortstop. We were just having fun with the whole thing. And that's just what they do. These kids win. They are gamers. I could go down the list. They either are going to play college baseball. They've won state championships in football. You got Walker, who's potentially the number one person in his class. Like, these guys, they're just winners in life. They're winners on the field. And I learned a lot from them. I was able to take a step back once again and ask them questions. Hey, what do y'all think about this lineup? Hey, what do y'all feel like we need to do at practice? Let them have some input. And it lets them have, value in what they're doing and what they're seeing. And it showed, after the field, the little dog pile we had, it was a special moment with a special group that will be remembered for a long time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Got some news here, I guess you would say, with the all-region team. So congratulations on being named the coach of the year. Slade Bird, one of the guys coming back, named the player of the year in the region. Terrific sophomore season for him. Hit 476 with a 600 on base. Hayden Brooks on there, as well as Cody Brott, James Crosby, Roman Colella, who had such a great sophomore season as well, behind the plate. Hilton Preps, Jackson Stanyard, JP Perkey, Connor Campbell, and JP2's Stuart Mishko and Archer DeWig on the first team. Honorable mention, Steel Bird on the honorable mention. That's a pretty solid region, as well as Chip Hetzel and Zane Wilson from Hilton Christian. Sammy Middleton, just an eighth grader. He's going to be a dude. Tyler Britschke and Brody Hauscher from Hilton Prep, as well as Cody Hughes. And then Talon Putnam, Logan Cotter, and Garrett Heathcott from JP2. So a lot of young talent on there coming back too. That region was really solid this year.
Yeah, I wish we had more teams so people would kind of take interest in it a little bit more. But prep, I think, is returning everybody. They'll be in 3A still next year as us and JP2 move up. But you have, I think, after that was submitted, the tear Roman Colella went on was
man,
God.
He had over 500 in the playoffs with seven extra base hits.
And he finished a big rally that put you guys over the top, like to win Game 2 of that final series.
I'm telling, we have been very clear between Hayden, will be the only senior next year, and then that core of juniors. If college coaches are not on those kids by August, between Hayden, Chip, Roman, Slade, that's some of the best talent that, young talent that I've seen. And how much.
And Perky and Mishko and DeWig are also in that class, and Britschke and Hauscher and Cotter and Heathcott. Goodness.
Yeah. It is
really,
that's a group, man.
And then you look at all the sophomores at May River and Bluffton.
Right.
You're like, holy cow, that age group.
The talent, man, the talent around here is ridiculous. It's been like that for years now, but this next couple of years, I think, is the most talent I've seen in this area ever.
We're starting to get into that age group where it was like every year somebody from the area was going to a Dixie World Series, so I'm starting to see more and more of that.
Yeah. And, I think one thing, as the area and surrounding coaches need to look at is we need to come up with a way to get these kids looked at. And, I'm trying to get, I'm in the works of trying to get like a college day at HHCA for everybody. I don't care what school you go to. You're not paying. You're not just a local event. It's things we had in Florida where,
like a scout day type deal.
Yeah. And you're telling me USCB, the fact that
I'm on board, brother.
They very rarely have anybody from this area on that roster, which is crazy.
Right.
There's a lot of factors at play there, including just how the financials work for them. Cause they only get like 12 equivalencies, scholarship equivalencies. And there's a finance loophole sort of there where they can abate out-of-state fees to in-state for less real money than it looks like, and so it's a weird deal, and I don't know if that's still in place. That was when I was there years ago. But that contributed somewhat to recruiting out of state more than in-state at the time. But no, it is crazy. We do need to do a better job of, and I'm hoping maybe basketball has made it more appealing to local kids too, because I think often the kids that we had who were good enough to play there didn't want to go there. And the kids who wanted to go there weren't good enough to play there. And so it was kind of a caught in between thing, but I think that'll change at the D2 level.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
I remember talking about it back when I was in school of how we should have, like a scout day, like a college day for, all the local kids. Because back in the day, there were some kids, not only just from Hilton Head Christian Academy, but from, Hilton Head Prep, JP2, Bluffton, May River, Hilton Head, all those schools, they had some really good players who never ended up playing at the college level. I didn't play at the college level because no scout knew who I was. I mean, there was no huddle at the time. And I think, a scout day like that would be helpful because there could be a player that you may have never heard of and you see him play and you're like, wow, this kid is something special. I should be, looking in this area more often. And I think that's something that's been sorely missed in this area for, quite a long time now.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. In on that.
And I think we even need to continue, how football has the Lowcountry versus the Empire, that kind of baseball.
I'm here for it.
You're talking about talent. You're talking about unreal talent.
Will Hilton Head Christian Academy host the Loco Baseball Showcase?
Listen, let me talk
now, brother.
Let me talk to the AD.
Like a home run derby.
You'll have your people call my people.
Yeah.
I would love to host that. I mean, it would be the talent within baseball between that Savannah area, our area, unreal, unmatched.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean, from Richmond Hill, if you go Richmond Hill up into the Savannah area, gosh.
I don't know. We want to tangle with Savannah, brother.
Listen.
Yes, there's some,
no, because what they do for the football game is they go all the way down to Brunswick and all the way up around Statesboro.
We'll go up to James Island then. They call that the Lowcountry.
We get Hampton and we get a couple other.
We'll go all the way up to Charleston and we'll see how.
Listen, James Island was the real deal. That was that line 1 through 9.
They're still playing, right?
They're still playing. The championship series is this week.
Man.
Yeah, that team.
Well,
I saw them play against May River, and I was like, holy crap! This isn't a high school team. This is a college prospect team, and that is what it was. And the MLB, they had a couple players on, watch for the MLB draft this upcoming draft. I mean, that's how good they were. I was like, whoa! And somehow May River beat them, but I have no idea. I still don't know this day how May River beat them.
That was a nice dub. But hey, J-Dub, we're running out of time here. We'll let you get going. But did want to ask you, you mentioned the softball thing is on the horizon. Is that the only new sport? And what, if so, what's the kind of the timeline for getting a coach in place and all that stuff? What do you have for facilities, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, some of that still. We just had an interest meeting about 2 weeks ago. Had enough girls You know, facility wise would probably be a lot like our lacrosse program right now.
Mhm.
Hopefully trying to partner, you know, with the rec center. Probably wouldn't play a home game. I mean, these are just things I'm thinking off the top of my head that
Right.
we would really kind of, you know, facilitate it and model it right at like our lacrosse program.
Yeah.
Which
I thought went pretty well.
It did.
Yeah, I thought it went pretty
really
well.
You know, for being one of only like 7 teams in SCISA to have it, and
It's a hard thing, man. It's a hard thing to start a program from scratch and go straight to varsity. That's not easy.
It is. So, and that's what we got to look at softball. You know, I mean, the age of the girls will come into it. We have a couple new teachers who just so happen to coach softball at their previous schools. So there's been some talks with them, but nothing crazy. Before we really throw all of our chips, we want to make sure a couple of things will deplete any of our other programs. I mean, that's something we look at, you know, with the number of kids we have, the interest level, because I'm not going to start a sport at our school to take away from, let's say, girls soccer like that. That to me doesn't make any sense. It's just to try to get more of our students involved in sports and to give them all. I mean, I've even had emails already about equestrian. I mean, it goes on and on, man.
You can't afford that, brother. You can't afford an equestrian barn.
Listen, if someone wants to buy me a horse, come on.
Yeah. we talked after the game the other night. My dad showed up and he was like, "Come on, please bring rugby to the program."
Yeah. Your dad was like, "What about rugby?" I was like, "Sir, I don't know if anybody knows how to do that. I wouldn't know.
Well,
the first thing.
I think drinking beer is a prerequisite for playing rugby, so you probably don't want it at your school.
I think it's just. I thought it was just like a striped shirt. You wear a striped shirt, you go out there, football with no pads. Our kids would probably love it, but
every rugby team I've ever known had a serious, or every drinking team I ever had known had a serious rugby problem.
There we go.
That's what they told me at my first college.
Not going to start rugby then.
not at HHCA. Not for you.
I would say if you did bring a program, my dad would coach it. He would 100% coach it. But anyway,
there's a rugby team on the island. The Shamrocks are back.
Yeah, man.
Need to go coach them up.
They're pretty good this year.
So anyway. you had rec ball dad duty tonight. You coaching or are you just outside the fence for this?
Nope.
What age were you in?
He's in the AA, so he's 7, and he's loving it. Hit his first little inside the park home run tonight. So first
was
round
this the
of
championship
playoffs.
Game?
No, it's first round. So they play again tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, they're in the championship. But no, I just. You know, this is something me and my wife talked about a while ago when he started getting into sports. And until he really asked me to coach, or I see, you know, there's a level of coaching that hasn't been done right for him, I stay back. We do our stuff in the garage or up at the cages, you know, at school. But no, I'm just dad. I'm holding our other baby. My other daughter's running around. And
you can at least be the game changer, Dad.
No, gosh, no.
Yeah, you're going to have to be the game changer, Dad, because you know the rules, man.
I do know the rules, but I'm not dealing with Johnny should have a hit. My son's ERA is that's unearned. No. I sit in the stands.
Well, dealing with that is a choice. You either tolerate that or you don't. But, well, hey, man, we appreciate you, and congratulations on a great season and job well done, and we'll talk real soon.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Take care, man.
What a job. What an
Wilkerson.
outstanding job that J.W. Wilkerson did. Great to see the culmination with you, Max, because you have to be proud as an alum.
Oh, yeah, I am. Yep. I really am. It was such a great season. You know, that first game they had, I think it was against First Baptist, their first home game of the year. I saw them play, and I was like, oh, crap, this team is good. I was like that, and I got back to do the LowcoSports Lowdown, which I think was one of my first Lowdowns of the year with you guys. And I said, I'm telling you what, man, this team is state championship bound. And
Was that the audio clip that they played
fully
before
believe
the meeting?
That was probably the night that they chopped that DJ Styles chopped us up and remixed us for the intro. But no, it was a fun
saw
season,
that
man.
night. Yeah, I mean, I saw it and I said, holy crap, this team is going to go to the state championship. And they were that good. I was like, I've never seen a team, from Hillman Christian Academy or Prep for that matter, that was that good. And I was like full on board with the team throughout the season because I knew one way or another they were going to get to the state championship. Whether they win it or not, that's up to them. Yeah. But I just had a really good feeling that they were going to make it to the state championship this year.
Well, I'll tell you, it makes me feel old because JW was one of the first kids that I remember covering here. He's a scrappy little second baseman, Bluffton. Loved to watch him play. He just grounded out and, just a grinder, tough kid. And always loved talking with him, kind of kept tabs with him over the years. And great to see him have success. But it makes me feel really, really old that he's already retiring from coaching, going inside to become an AD. He's got kids playing AU baseball. Wow. But, well, hey, guys, the varsity sponsors of LowcoSports are DDS Web Design. They build, host, and maintain websites for businesses and nonprofits that get results. So find them at ddshhi.com if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, Jasper, and Jasper counties. They've jumped on board to help us continue to expand our coverage on those counties and shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes around the Lowco. Reverence Wrestling Club is our official wrestling sponsor, the presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, and the place to be if you want to take your skills on the mat to the next level. And Dr. Ambrose Cole is our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. And our varsity sponsors tonight present our next guest, the doctor himself, Dr. Carlo Peruzza. What's up, Doc?
What up? What's up, man?
I'm going to swap us places and then put you in the spotlight.
Ooh.
There. The doctor is back with more interviews from the other night over at the All-American Football Camp as I try to track them down here. So yeah, you shared some videos with us the other night, and we got to hear from Jalen Sneed as well as trying to remember who else we heard from. BJ Payne, Rodrigo Blankenship, maybe one more.
The Penn State wide receiver.
Julian Fleming. But we did not yet get to hear from the big one, the big get, Puna Ford, our own. So let's hear what Puna had to say over at the camp.
Hey, LowcoSports fans, Carlo Peruzza out here, All-American Football Camp with a familiar face in the area, Mr. Puna Ford. Puna, you've attended this camp before. You went to high school here. What is it like being back in the Lowco, being back at Hilton Head?
It's always a good feeling, especially around this time of the year when the All-American camp is going on. It's just good out to get out here with the kids and just, teach them up.
I'm sure you've attended many football camps when you were younger. You probably still go to different football camps now. But what do you think separates this football camps from maybe some others?
I mean, to be honest, we ain't never had nothing like this, growing up. I didn't go to my first football camp till when Payne got here. Well, actually, my first football camp, my D-line coach Max, he took me to a D-line camp at ECU. That was my first camp. But then when Payne got here, that was when I first started going to multiple camps. But it's just, sorry, I just heard it comes and goes. But just like I said, just never having something like this. This is good to be out here, good to see the kids, to get this experience.
What are one of the things that you want each kid who attends this camp to take away after completing it?
That football is fun. This is always a good time. That's what brings me joy, to be honest.
Obviously, you've made a pretty big name for yourself on the NFL side of things, play for a couple teams now. What is it like being able to come back and see your hometown? Do you see this from a different perspective now?
I don't really know. I never really thought about it like that. But because it's my 10th year doing this camp out here. But it's just good to see the kids out here. They're having fun with their classmates, and hopefully they all play football together.
All right, last question for you, Puna. NFL's right around the corner. We just have a draft. We're at the San Diego Chargers now, or Los Angeles Chargers now, I believe. What are you looking to accomplish
Old
in your
man
first year
Carlo.
with them?
I do it too.
Winning games, win as many games as possible. Winning is fun.
That's Puna
Winning
Ford. I'm
is
Carl
fun.
Prusa. Go
I
Lowco.
agree.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Big Poon. Yeah, I call him San Diego all the time, and now I totally understand.
I still
totally understand why my grandpa called the Raiders Oakland is holding.
I still all the time call the Rams the St. Louis Rams and not the LA Rams.
I've gotten over that one because that one hit hard when they left St. Louis. But and then you also caught up with another NFL player who is not from here, but he's doing another camp up in Greer this weekend. So we may be getting him on the show. Troy Pride Jr. He's with who? The Patriots?
He is the practice squad with the Houston Texans, but he's also played
Local
with
sports
the
fans. Carl Prusa out here.
I'm sorry, I was just stopping that. The Panthers and
he's also played with the Panthers and the Saints for a while.
Okay.
I think he played a couple years with Carolina and a year or two with New Orleans. So yeah, it's a dude who's been around here for a few years now.
All right,
All-American football camp with Mr. Troy Pride Jr., the Houston Texans. Troy, what is it like to be down here on the island, be able to hang out with a bunch of college pro guys, as well as coach some kids?
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, number one, the Notre Dame Connect is, I think, very strong. Like, I'm very proud of these guys that are out here. But then, just to impact these kids and this community is everything I was, put on this earth for. So, easy stuff.
Coach BJ was telling me a little earlier that originally you didn't really know that you were supposed to be part of the camp. Opportunity presented itself. Was it a no-brainer to make the decision to be a part of this?
Absolutely. I run my own camp back in Greer High School. So, when I heard about this, it was like, man, it's just right up my alley. This is anything I'm already used to.
Coach Payne has been doing this for quite a while now, and every single year it's more and more studs, more college guys, more pro guys. What do you think separates this camp from maybe some others that you attended or worked at?
I think the connection, as well as Coach BJ's been here for a while. He's cemented in this city. He's cemented on this island. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a great aspect, and that's what I want to embody in Greer. I want to take some notes from here and bring them back to my home town. So.
And now, what is the big takeaway you want each of the kids to take away from participating in the camp?
You mean hard work gets you there's no substitute for hard work in life, number one. And then number two, building the foundations and the basics of football. That's how I came to love the game, and hopefully, like I said, one of these kids will too.
Our last question for you, Troy. NFL season is fast approaching. It's right around the corner. We just have the draft. What are you looking to accomplish with the Texans this year?
I'm going to shoot for the stars and aim for the moon. I want a Super Bowl. I want to first make the team, obviously be a contributing player to the team, but I want to win a Super Bowl. I want to accomplish a life goal. I want to, do everything that I was put on this earth to do, and that's win. So,
well, Troy, I wish you nothing but the best. It's Troy Pride Jr. I'm Carl Prusa.
Good stuff.
Go Loco.
I like Troy.
Troy's cool. That's a fun team over there in Houston. I think they got a shot to do some things this year. So hopefully he gets a chance to crack the 53-man and give himself a chance at that.
Yeah, he's very well spoken. That guy, I think, definitely has a career in broadcasting if he wants to do it.
Yep. To the point that he made about the good that they do through this, they were able to make a donation of $2,000 in the fight for a woman. I guess the continued fight against cancer in honor and memory of Nika Mickey. I'm not sure the story there, but it's all the Notre Dame guys who came together for that. So love to see good things like that happening as a part of any kind of event. And always great when we can use sports as a vehicle to do good in our community. So shout out to Coach Payne, Coach Beach, and everybody who was involved with the camp this weekend. Looked like they got most of it outside, thanks to the turf. Now rain isn't a death sentence. You might be able to go back out if it stops raining, but no, it was good.
The weather cooperated for the most part, especially early. I got to I was on Sunday. It was really nice in the morning before it started to rain.
It came in shifts. Came in shifts, but it was really nice in between.
I was trying to remember why the Nika Mickey name is familiar. I was reading about this, during the football season, I think. She was
Mother of
mother
a Notre Dame defensive back, it seems. Yeah.
Jane Mickey, sophomore
Yeah.
cornerback for Notre Dame. She unfortunately, I believe, passed away after dealing with colon cancer. So that's who they were. She has a foundation now, I believe. So I think that money goes towards her foundation and
There you
the
go.
fight towards cancer and
There
stuff.
you
So
go.
it's a really cool cause to be raising money for. So it's great. Also, the other thing was, I don't know if any of y'all noticed through the interviews the scoreboard in the background. I don't know if any of
Yeah,
y'all.
2024. Yeah.
I think that was really cool because this is American
Yeah.
football,
Most
all
of-
American football camp across it as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. But well, hey, Carlo, one other thing before we let you go. Saturday night, fight night at the Foundry.
Yeah, we got some big fights. Abe Stem, his promotion over there, guys at the Foundry putting on their, I think it's called semi-annual. They usually do about 2 fights a year. I believe he's doing his 4th show now in roughly about a year and a half, 2 years, about 2 years, something like that. But they've been getting better and better every single one. I mean, even the first one I did was good, but you could tell every show since improvements. He said they're going to switch it up a little bit inside. They're going to move the entrance for the fighters to give them a little bit of room so they're not running through drunk people when they're about to fight and stuff. So
It's probably for the best.
yeah, probably a good thing. But no, man, they do a really good job with that. It's crazy that it's in the gym, but you actually feel like you're kind of in like an arena when you're in there. They have a good little setup, very organized, which I can tell you that some amateur MMA shows are not organized one single bit. And it's like the Wild Wild West. It's crazy. Abe's definitely on ball here. This is a very organized thing, very legitimate thing that he's doing. Obviously sanctioned by Gamma, who's the regulating commission for it. But usually some great fights on there. I believe, unless it's changed, Will Valentine, Foundry guy, I believe he's main eventing it against Sammy Klepak, they're both very exciting fighters. They both like to strike. You know, I am a doctor, but I would say that there could be a knockout in the main event, and I'm very looking forward to see it. But overall, what I love about the promotion or his show, he does it cool where he like mixes everything up. You have some MMA contests in there. You see some Muay Thai in there, some kickboxing in there. I think it even starts off with like young kids do jiu-jitsu. I believe Macy Estrella, who, if you watch WWE, Lacey Evans, I want to say her daughter's even competing in it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, she lives in Beaufort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
they
just
live in
opened a coffee shop not too long ago. She did a lot of good things, giving back to the community, doing a lot of outreach programs out of it, trying to help people overcome addiction and a lot of amazing. She's actually a really amazing story. You know, she had a run in WWE, was a big heel or a villain, if you don't know WWE technology or terms. But yeah, no, she's doing some really good things in the community. It's crazy. She started her career off in Statesboro, Georgia. I mean, she was a Marine, obviously, went to Paris Island and everything. You know, it's fitting because that's kind of the character she played in WWE. And now that she's done with pro wrestling, she's really giving back to the community. But it's going to be a fun night. I'm really looking forward to it. I really like this one. It's so close. Yeah. And there's always some good fights. Abe, first-class guy over there at the Foundry. Very, very easy to cover an event with. And it'll be cool. I'm excited to watch some fights cage side. So it'll be fun.
Right on, brother. Well, I'm going to see if I can't slip away and take in some of the fights with you for the spectacle. For the spectacle, should be good. But good talking to you, man. We'll catch up with you. I know you're hoping to pop out to the golf with me sometime this week. We're going to try to get out to Congaree and check that out. So we'll get you back in here real soon, brother.
All right, boys. Be good. Have a good night.
Be good. That's Dr. Carlo Perusa, the fight doctor. Doctor of broadcasting. He's a doctor of many things. Yeah, no, I get big like Fletch vibes when we refer to him as Dr. Perusa. But hey, some more sponsors, the Lowco Booster Club. They help take care of us and support us, so please support them when you have needs. Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court are with Charter One Realty. They're Lowco natives, and they want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. Revive Rehab, Women's Health and Pelvic Floor Physical Therapy. Dr. Ali and Dr. Jen hold things down over there, and they'll get new moms feeling right again. Eagle Creations has promotional items and custom apparel, as well as custom gift baskets and all kinds of other cool stuff. Go over to their showroom on Argent Boulevard.
It's trophy season
for you.
Sports
It is
are
trophy
wrapped up.
season. Yeah, good time to buy. Good place to buy trophies and awards at Eagle Creations. Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Stop by downtown Ridgeland, see Jay's Barbershop. Go in for the conversation, come out with a great style. And Barefoot Floor Care, the Lowcountry. They'll get your floors so clean, your feet will thank you. Saw Chris Odom give us his little thumbs up earlier, so appreciate him tuning in. All right, fellas, not really going to do shout outs at this stage, I don't think. It can be a shout out, but we're going to do parting thoughts. So each of us gets a parting thought. If you got a shout out or something you want to share, let's talk about it. So Wes, you're up first, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, track and field finishing up and a lot of solid performances. I just look back to that Whale Branch girls squad, putting it all together. Fantastic team performance, bringing home another title. Dynastic group that gets it done here in 2024. And they blew everybody out of the water. They had 124. The next closest was Christchurch with 92. And nobody else was even close to where Whale Branch was. And then Destiny Pryor, a couple of medals to her name, Talasia Bartley winning not just the 400 meters, but also the 100 hurdles. And then the Pryor girls were all over the place. Lamore, Destiny, Janiyah absolutely crushing it. Destiny winning the 100-meter dash, and then three in the top 500 meters alongside Faith Eugene and Larmore Pryor. So absolutely stellar performance by Whale Branch. So I wanted to give them credit, but it feels like it's been the year of Hampton County. Football season went all the way to the Lower State Championship. Almost could have gone all the way. Tough to see it end the way it did, but a terrific season there. Boys basketball, a great year. Then we had the track and field closing it out. Both the boys and the girls put up some strong performances over the weekend. And just great to see Kayvon Chisholm one more time.
You're the Hurricane.
Yep, as a Hurricane. And just to see the culmination of the transition that we knew was going to be special this year, absolutely was. And cool to see it end on a good note, track and field wise. So, great weekend overall. Whale Branch guys, I want to give them a shout as well because they Bradford Thompson, second place in discus and the shot puts. Keith Chisholm with a couple of strong finishes, fifth in the 100-meter hurdles, and then Jonathan Kelly, silver in 200 meters. And so they got their athletes over there and doing some good things for that guys program too. Second place as a team just behind Southside Christian. So Whale Branch Warriors continue to make the name for themselves on the track to close out the school year.
Yes, sir. Max, parting thought?
What a season it's been. So much fun. I mean, starting with the 4A boys matchups for soccer this year was unbelievable. So many overtime games, so many close games. And same for baseball as well. Baseball was real competitive too. Girls soccer was competitive in 4A level and 3A level. And then you got all the skis of sports as well. I mean, a great, state championship for Hilton Head Christian. A really good baseball season for Prep. Girls soccer for Prep. Holy crap! What a year it was for them.
Holy Trinity as well.
There's so many things that went on this spring season. It was so much fun. And then you got USCB. Both softball and baseball had both real impressive years. Baseball came down to the wire for playoffs. That was so much fun to watch. And I first spring season with you guys, first season really with you guys, and I really enjoyed doing it with y'all. I do have one shout out, and it's not Lowcountry related. How about the Minnesota Timberwolves coming back from being down 20 points and
that was
knocking
impressive.
off the defending champions, man. Holy crap. I watched that whole game too. I was like, oh my God, they're going to do it. And then they just blew right by them. And I was like, All right. Well, this should
Especially
be a
when
That was
they
unreal.
went down, they were up 2-0 in the series, and they lost 3 straight to go down 3-2.
Yeah.
It was not looking good. And then, responded to Game 6 and found a way to take it back to Denver.
I made a joke on Twitter that they had agreed to swap home courts effectively immediately, and the Western Conference Finals will be played in Denver. Minnesota likes playing in Denver. They should just keep playing there.
I'm excited now. But now the conference finals are set for the NBA. The NHL, they have a Game 7 going on right now, actually,
I've
between
been watching it.
Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. I think it's still no score, right? Or did
I think so too. And there have been
Still
some
scoreless.
really point blank chances that have been saved as well.
Yeah,
It's
so-
been
Oilers
Really?
dominated Game 6, so
I'm
Canucks are gonna
excited
have to
now
really
because
dig deep
we
because
got I'm
Yeah.
excited now because we got the conference finals now set up for the NBA.
yeah, baby.
You got the Celtics Pacers. That should be an interesting series. I'm interested to see how the Pacers do. And then you got the Mavericks and
I'm
Timberwolves. Now
interested in
that's
that
a
one
series
because I kind
I'm
of think that
excited.
Minnesota seems like a team of destiny, in my opinion. Although Dallas,
I think so too. Minnesota feels like the team to beat right now.
Anthony Edwards, man, is a beast.
But
that
I
dude
mean,
is
if they can just win at home,
Yeah.
then they'll be unstoppable,
Yeah.
right? But that dude
Yeah.
is a beast. Carl Anthony Towns, they got some dudes on that team.
They got
That's
a
fun
squad. I've been waiting
They
to
do.
see them do this for years now.
And
because
Minnesota
they've had-
deserves it, man. They
Right.
got
They've gone
so
through-
set back by
just professional
They
sports
really
in general.
do.
Minnesota have been, they've had some quality teams. The Vikings have had some good runs. The Twins have gotten better, but I think that was the last championship they had was in the '90s. The Twins won the World
Yeah.
Series. So Minnesota sports is due for a
91.
title.
Was
Love
that
to see it.
Yeah, I think the
91
last
Twins won it?
last World Series, last championship, last anything was, I believe, 1991 when they beat
Right,
the
it is.
Atlanta Braves.
You know what else we have coming up, and we'll talk about it in more detail on our next show, which we're planning to come on Wednesday night, take tomorrow night off, just kind of ease into a little lighter schedule for the summer. But if there's enough stuff pops up, we can do a show. But one thing that we will have to talk about later this week is Paul Winland Jr., Buford High School, former Buford High star. He is in the NAIA World Series with Georgia Gwinnett. So
Yeah, that's right. I
love
saw
to
that.
try to catch up with him. So we'll see if we can't get him on. We got the Whale Branch girls coming on Wednesday, and also Carlo is going to try to get Troy Pride Jr. to come on with us. And we'll have some spring football games on Thursday night, I believe, as long as they don't get rained out. So we still got stuff to talk about. The golf tournament will be going on all week, so we got some good stuff. And then when the College World Series rolls around here in a couple of weeks, I made a new friend last night. I got a wrong number call the other day from a gentleman who was looking for a baseball game between two teams I'd never heard of. So it was in a different state. And he was looking for the stream and he couldn't find it. And I forgot about it because it was a wrong number. And then last night I got another call from that same number, but I didn't recognize it as the same number. So I let it go to voicemail. And he left me another message wondering why somebody from Bluffton, South Carolina had called him, and he was calling me back to see what the deal was. And I texted him and said, I didn't call you, sir. You called me looking for this baseball game. Well, like an hour of texting back and forth later, I've got a new friend named Lewis. Lewis Sutton. He pitched for Georgia Southern from 1972 to 74, or played for them. I don't know that he was a pitcher. 1972 to 74. He was on their 1973 College World Series team, the first team from the state of Georgia to go to the D1 College World Series. Played with John Tudor, who pitched for the Cardinals, and a few other guys who played big league ball. And he's got some great stories about coaching Johnny Padres' grandson and hanging out with Dave Winfield and all kinds of other stuff. So he's going to come on with us one night here in the next couple of weeks as well and tell his story.
Love to recount those kinds of fun stories. Because I remember talking about that guy before, and really cool to see him continuing to play college ball. That's awesome. I'm excited for the College World Series, especially the regionals. They're so much fun. Just great baseball.
Yeah, softball's already started. I'm pretty fired up for that. I love the softball College World Series. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think Texas has it on the softball side. That's a really good team.
Man, it's so fun to watch.
Yeah,
so fun to watch. It's so fast. But
It's
well, hey boys, I think that'll do it for tonight. Tomorrow, we do not have a lot going on, but we do have the golf going on out at Congaree. We'll keep reporting on that on Last Night in the Lowco, so you can keep up with that until we get back together here on the Lowco Sports Lowdown, and then we'll get you all caught up, and hopefully at the end of the week we get to talk to a Lowco champ or two. That would be good stuff. So thanks so much to J.W. Wilkerson for making time with us tonight. That was a terrific interview. Great to hear from him, and excited to see what he can do as athletic director over there at HHCA. Thanks to Carlo Perusa for his reporting and companionship tonight on the Lowdown. And thanks to all of our sponsors for making it possible, as well as you for showing up to listen or watch. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, from Max Arraj and Wes Kerr, I'm Justin Jarrett telling you to go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.